Welcome, 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 everybody. You're here again to another episode of Walking with the Master. This show is primarily um, presented to speak to masters and to represent my teacher, uh, Master Dr. Moses Powell. So I have two masters on this show today. This is a show that we do to give information to make sure that you are aware of what's going on. And I want to introduce you to the two masters that I have on this show. You know, they're smiling right now because they're wondering where is he going. But you understand when you're walking with the master and you're a good student of the master. See, a master teacher produces masters. And when he gives them something to do and he relies on them to execute on that, he's looking for their mastery to show. And I want to introduce these two masters that I call masters. No, they're not martial arts masters in the general sense, but martial arts is pulling your forces together. To pull your forces together for a martial artist in the general sense is pulling their ability in terms of their hands and their feet and their mind and lining their mind and body and spirit together. Well, this is what we're talking about here. So I'm going to introduce them without delaying any further. I have on this podcast today Brother Abdul Kiam Muhammad. This is a brother who is termed, I mean, he's the general of the Twitter army. Now, if you're the general of the Twitter army, there's got to be a leader over the entire army. And he is a general under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, representing and managing the Twitter army. How are you doing? And welcome. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, dear brother Grand Master Abdul Aziz Muhammad. It is indeed an honor to be with you on this wonderful show that I've been enjoying since its inception, my brother. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And the next master is someone who I love as well. He's someone who's been, we've known each other for quite some time. And when you look at a person who has been representing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in another way, and in this particular way, he has managed and assisted men and guided men for many years. He's been in the area of working in the area of captaincy in the Nation of Islam for, as he just mentioned to me, 32 years. He is an emeritus captain at this time, and he's doing some things that we're going to talk about as it relates to farming as well. But he is a someone, and both of them have been at the National Training Conference, and we'll get further into that aspect as far as the national training is concerned. Now, I want all of you to know that there's a national training conference that's coming up. It's actually happening next weekend. We're here on this Sunday, but next weekend, Friday and Saturday, the 16th and the 17th, we're going to have a wonderful time, and we're going to get into what that's all about so that you can understand that if you're a martial artist, you're going to be totally impressed and not only just impressed, but you're going to be introduced to some things that you have never got an opportunity to be introduced to. But this brother here, his name is Brother Emeritus Captain Charles Muhammad. He's a brother who, again, I love and has been doing this work in our nation for many, many years. How are you doing, sir? Assalamu alaikum.
Fine. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you for having me, Grandmaster Aziz Muhammad. It is indeed a pleasure and an honor to be a part of your podcast. I have listened to your podcast and enjoyed immensely. Thank you for
Man, thank you. All praises are due to Allah. Well, I'm excited now, and I'm talking to two brothers who, they do what they do. They are professionals in their own right, but they both love the same man that I love. And not often can you love the same person like that, and not be jealous. Well, in this situation, I'm so excited and happy because they love the same man I love, and that is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I would like you to just kind of first open up, please, and share a little bit of what you do with the listening audience.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm blessed to serve in the capacity with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan the last 10 years in assisting him with his social media presence. And I must say, Brother Abdul Aziz, the minister taught me how to use social media better. As you know, in the martial arts and any field of endeavor, when you submit yourself to the teacher who comes in the volume of the book, he does not have to study a particular course to know how to guide you in it. So I have learned that as long as I follow what he has told me to do, we have been able to have enormous success in utilizing this modern technology in the Nation of Islam. So I'm still blessed to serve him in that capacity and do many other things. And I thank Allah for this opportunity to continue to serve a man who is the epitome of love, who has definitely guided and inspired the nation to go beyond what we thought could actually be done. And so that's what I'm blessed to do for our beloved minister. And I have to say that the work was done so hard that the enemy had to ban him and take him down from Facebook and Instagram because they know the minister was penetrating the hearts and minds of the people even more as he's done these last 65 plus years. But what they did not calculate on is the DNA of the minister is in the hearts of millions around the world. So when they took him down, they're only still seeing more of him.
Man, that's beautiful. Because, when they take something from you, how when you take something from a child and the child wants it, they will try and do everything that they can to try to find it, to get it. They think that it's going to make everyone just forget it. It only makes them want him more and more. So that is absolutely great.
Yes, sir. All praise due to Allah.
Yes, sir. So, brother Captain Charles, talk to me
sir.
about your work with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, which is really your work with the nation, and we'll go into some of what you're doing now.
Yes, sir. Well, it's been over 30 plus years. I've been serving as in the student captain's position, still serving in the position, assisting our Supreme Captain, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and our nation in the same way. I'm what is called, even though I have the title of Emeritus Captain, I still serve and assist the local captain here, and I'm also what is called a team lead captain in our nation, which is other cities that are that I'm responsible for, have a responsibility for, which I enjoy immensely. I wouldn't have it any other way in serving the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm talking about a man that has literally saved my life.
Yes.
I came not as a once believed and then fell out of belief. And then after hearing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he brought me into a better understanding of belief. He introduced me to one, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and introduced me to the God, Master Farad Muhammad. And so when I found out who God was, I said, hey, I have no other choice in this matter but to serve. So I came into the nation to serve, and I plan to continue to serve. I plan, as we say, I plan to die on my post. That's basically where we're at this time. I mean, there's many things that I've done over the years and prior to our nation. I've been able now to take all of those talents, things that I have learned, brought it into the nation, and now, as you said, we'll talk about a few more things of currently what I'm doing right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Awesome. Awesome. Well,
Praise.
you definitely mentioned basics. I don't think there's any basics in there, but that's a beautiful thing to be able to say that you've served for 30 plus years, a man and a nation. That's an incredible feat. Many retire. They retire from jobs. Having served a master that is mastering us or have mastered us to to be a servant of, but you've served a master who
Yes,
is teaching us to be masters of ourselves.
yes, sir.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing, and I'm excited, to have you in my presence as always. Well, let me ask you, brother Abdul Kiam. Let me ask you, in terms of the what you do in terms of the Twitter army. Can you talk about the Twitter army and what does that look like?
You know, going back to the Million Man March in 1995, the minister has let us know that after that was such a great success by the blessings and mercies of Allah, with nearly 2 million black men showing up, the enemy went to work to black out the minister, as you all know. He was not invited in churches anymore. They took him off television. And so I even heard the minister say, and he said it to me directly, and I'm sure maybe to you as well. He said that a person who lived near him in Phoenix actually thought at one time that he was dead because they did no longer see him on television anymore. So the enemy had banned him and his representatives, student representatives from the college campuses. So this cycle of time where there was this big blackout of the minister from the young generation. I had no idea that myself, going back years ago from being at Prairie View, teaching myself how to build websites and learning social media early on, those days as a staff writer for the Final Call, which I did for 10 years, I started learning how to blog. And I started learning about MySpace back then. I know some of the younger ones that's watching might not know about that MySpace days. But I was teaching myself these things just to better serve the people through the Final Call articles we were writing. So I had no idea that Allah would create a moment in the hotel suite, March 30th, 2011, where the minister would instruct me to set up his Twitter account. And at that time, the minister didn't even know what social media really was. He didn't know about Twitter and what Facebook was, because he told me straight out, the internet wasn't his thing. So it was a divinely inspired moment where he said to set it up. And when the minister found out that he could reach people from his home through Twitter by answering their questions, and he could get them with the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, it exploded for him. And now to this very date, the minister has blessed cyberspace by answering over 5,000 questions on Twitter and Facebook combined, that we started compiling in this collection of 2 books. We only got 2 volumes out of the Teachers 2.0, with Allah willing more to come. But the minister saw this as another opportunity to reach the people with his Father's word. So you know how a master is. The minister, like any master, he want to learn the things. So the minister would keep me up sometimes at 1 a.m. to learn how to use Twitter, to learn the jargon of Facebook. This is a master teacher and student. So the minister at times, lastly, Brother Charles, the minister would know the language so well, sometimes the executive council member would call me and say, brother, what is Twitter jail? What does it mean, the trend? The minister is confusing us. We don't know what he's talking about. But he dedicated himself to learning these tools so he will understand how to be effective with it. So that's how it started 10 years ago. And it has been monumental in helping the minister to jump over mainstream media and those who've been blocking him from the people.
Come on. Man, that's so awesome. It's so awesome. And every time I hear, about the minister, of course, my personal observation and whatnot, but when I hear I always look at the martial arts side of it. I look at the side when because again, the minister is a martial artist. He is a master war manager. He understands the rudiments of offense and defense. He knows all of that. But when I hear how he is a student, but every master is supposed to be a student anyway. So when you hear how he studies and to the degree, it man, it just fills my heart because he is a master teacher. And when the minister has said to me, he'll call me grandmaster, it is so embarrassing to me. It's so embarrassing to be next to a man of such stature and he called me, just the title is embarrassing to me because I want to be so small. I am so small when it comes to being next to him, who is guiding us to a whole nother time period in the annals of history that it's the change of an old world.
Yes, sir.
Into a new world. It's incredible. But I love to hear how the description is on the minister like this. It's just so beneficial for me to know that I'm a servant and a student and a observer of that man. Praise be to Allah. Thank you for helping me.
Now you can relate how embarrassing and uncomfortable I am to be called the general or the commander in chief. I've always said, I've never said that. No, that's him. But yeah. I understand. But at the same time, I just like being in the digital ranks. I like being a soldier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. So Brother Charles,
yes, sir.
I'm going to shoot on over to the reason or the main purpose of this podcast. And that is to really talk about this training piece that we do every year and that we've been doing for years. And Dr. Moses Powell has been here, and you've been here to see him from the beginning, to when he were no longer able to be present because of his passing and so forth. But you've been here through all of that. And I want to kind of segue to how do you share with everyone the power and beauty of the National Training Seminar and what it entails from your perspective?
Wow. Well, I have to say, my brother Abdul was talking about our master teacher, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he has always, his vision, he's always had big vision. And I just thankful to Allah that I've been able to be a part of his vision. And you know me that this podcast that we're doing today, it's got me a little nervous because this is just not something that I do.
Right.
I'm not the one to be out front. I like to be behind the scenes and I like to work. That's all I know is to work.
Yes.
And so when I was asked to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because he personally asked me to help him, and I said yes, sir. And agreed to help him. And then as I began to help him, and then we began to develop this national training seminar that has been put together. I remember when we were just talking about it. And then it began, it was just talk. And then it became the vision that you had. And then you were soliciting input from so many people. And then as it all came together, I couldn't see myself not being a part of something of this magnitude and something so great. And so what I tell people is that the national training is not just martial arts, but it's an all-inclusive program that has been put together from the vision of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, yourself, Dr. Moses Powell, and many others that put this training together. And so I don't understand how that we who serve as FOI in the nation of Islam that we cannot be a part of something that of this magnitude. So I promote it that way. I promote it, and when a brother tells me he's not willing to train, because we say we're constantly training, conditioning ourselves to meet and overcome all obstacles. Well, that's what the national training is. The national training has been designed and developed to overcome all those things. And then from the national training, I have taken things from the national training and I've made it applicable to what I do current day. And of course, we talk about the master trainer, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you, a master trainer. Well, that master trainer, I'm currently serving in another capacity with a master trainer,
yes,
which is Mr. Will Allen, who's a well-known and world-renowned master farmer. And he's teaching me all of the skills. He said that he would pour into me everything that he has ever learned. Well, that's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has poured into me and my family and has poured into me everything that was given to him by his master teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So the national training is, it's my Christmas. The national training is my New Year's. The national training is whatever you celebrate, that's my national training. So I've been celebrating with you and others for 26 years. I don't see anything else. And to see it grow from just a handful of people,
yes,
where it is today, man, is if they could look back and if we had the technology, brother, that we have today, back then, oh, brother, it will blow your mind, literally. Some of the things that we did during that time period, back in the early, mid 90s. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So the national training, it's not just the martial arts. It's more than that. It's, I remember when we started, Brother Abdul, check this out. We didn't involve the youth from the beginning. But we were the first, and I say we were the first to introduce this particular program to the youth. I then began to bring my children, who at the time were very young, and then eventually my wife even came on board. So it was a family thing for me. And my entire family was learning from this national training, being introduced to the great masters like Dr. Moses Pop, things that he brought. Not only did he bring things to the mat, but he also brought his wisdom, how to survive. And from that, Grandmaster, I don't know if you knew this or not, and that's when I brought to you the survival training.
yes,
The disaster preparedness training. I actually got that from Dr. Moses Pop. He was introducing it, and I said, oh yeah, that'd be a good idea for us to introduce disaster preparedness into the national training. And you came back and said, hey, Brother Charles, would you be willing to do some disaster preparedness type training? So it was all, it was a lot in the mix, orchestrating, putting everything together anyway. So we were all tuning in on, some of the same ideas and same goals that we had in mind. And so, brother, I love the national training. I don't know of any other event that we have outside of, our Savior's Day and Holy Day of Atonement within our nation that's larger than the national training. I've learned so much. Each year, it gets better. Each year, if you think that you've reached a point where, hey, I've learned enough, you're wrong. Because each year it gets better. Each year it gets sweeter. Each year you pick up on things that it's like reading the Quran. you go through the national training over and over and over, and every time there's something that's different.
Praise be.
Oh, I love this, man. You're gonna have to stop me, because when you start talking about the national training, and when brothers kind of shy away from the national training, it upsets me when I see them kind of like trying to drift away, or sisters trying to drift away, from this type of training, because it's a lifesaver.
Yes, sir.
Many of us, only if we but knew.
Thank you. I can feel, your appreciation and love for the national training just permeating all out of you. So I love it. And brother Abdul Kiam, why don't you tell me your experience and how it began for you?
Oh, yes, sir. Well, like I said before, I think I've overcome my embarrassment now. 2019 was my first time attending, and I've been registered since 1997, and was reading the final call when you was pushing the DVD. I think it was called When Worlds Collide. And I used to see your face when I was in high school and marveled at the DVD when I used to watch it. And as I stated, no fault of anyone, but it was always marketed, and I would see it every year that it was really for the officers and everything. So I didn't see myself in that position, lieutenant at that time. And even at the time when I was a tenure, the student first officer, I couldn't go. But it would seem like that. Or if you're in the martial arts, which we have a martial arts trainer here in Houston, our brother William, Master William as well. So I've been in this class, but I thought it was for the officers and everything. So in 2019, Sister Lisa and Brother Cliff reached out to me to be a part of the youth division that was being developed and built. And of course, I could never deny when the young believers reached out. And oh Allah, I thank Allah I accepted that invitation. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. The National Training Seminar and Conference is not what you think it is. It is a world that you will be attending. Trust and believe. I was like a little child who was at the Children's Village hosted by Mother Khadijah. That's how I felt at the National Training, Brother Abdul Aziz and Brother Charles. I was trying to catch workshops in between the youth division. I stayed there a lot. But the presentation was so awesome that this is life-saving for every facet of our lives.
That's right.
Even if you don't have a white belt or a black belt, they're arming you at the national training on how to live and survive in the dojo of this world that's fallen.
Come on.
So when I went around, I was so geeked up that I couldn't attend everything. And so I felt so bad. I said, this is what I've been missing? I'm an FOI soldier. I love training. I love conditioning. So I said, oh, Allah willing, as long as I have breath in my lungs, I'll never miss one. So last year when it was online, I didn't miss nothing. I wanted to tune in because it filled my heart with joy to see it growing like it has, but to see the love that you all put into it, Brother Grandmaster. Yes. I saw the love of every presenter, the care that they have put into it, that they didn't waste no time in presenting. They went right into it and gave us what we needed, that it was the type of thing that everything that was presented could have been accomplished within itself. And then, of course, the demonstrations at the end, I definitely love to see that, of course. And then to have it always culminated by hearing from the master teacher at the end. I was on my knees prostrated just like everybody at his feet and taking in his words and drinking them in. And so I want to let everybody know that you cannot miss this. Even though it's virtual, let me tell you something. You will be wise to log in and catch as much of this as possible because it will be life-saving for you. Because as the minister has told us, none of us can deny that we are living in a time of trouble like we've never seen before. And we all need to be prepared unlike anywhere. And you will not get anywhere else what you're going to get during the national training. And last, I say this. I was thinking about this national conference when we had our big freeze here in Houston back in February. Yes. We're not used to that, Brother Abdul Aziz, here in Houston, a freeze. That's normal for you all in Chicago, but not in Houston. Well, thanks be to Allah because of our training and conditioning. My family was stored up, stocked up with beans, stocked up with water, but more importantly, too, we were stocked up spiritually with the word, to handle the pressure of what was going on. And I was blessed to get a call from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan checking up on my family and the believers here. And he said this. He said, how's your family doing? And I let him know just what I told you all about what we had stored up, how we're doing spiritually, how the believers are doing. The minister said, see, brother, the way we have been taught and trained is a mercy from Allah. And if we are found practicing our training, we will invite mercy into our homes. So we should always invite people to our way of training so they can have mercy in their homes as well.
Beautiful.
So you have to sign up for the national training immediately because it's not just a seminar, it's mercy. May Allah bless everybody. You got to sign up immediately.
Man.
Can I say this, Grandmaster?
Yes, sir.
Praise is due to Allah.
Brother Abdul, you are on point, brother.
Oh, praise.
I was kind of reflecting as you were talking. I remember when I saw the doc when he had Grandmaster in a lock.
Yeah.
And I had never seen my brother Aziz, Grandmaster Aziz, locked up like that. And he was tapping out. But the doc wouldn't let him go, and he was constantly tapping out. So in saying that, I can't see why an FOI or anyone would tap out of this, man. You can't tap out of this. This will save the best of us. This is not just it's not just exclusive to Nation of Islam members.
That's right.
That's right.
Everybody. The information. I've attended seminars, and I know we can take each workshop, and if we put a cost to it, you would pay outside of this training of what it costs, whether it's virtual or in the person, thousands of dollars. I say this kind of loosely, they will pay thousands of dollars. I think we all know who the they is. You can put it in whatever category you like. If you understand the color spectrum, we have to understand that. But when you know that there's good information, you will pay whatever it costs to get that information. I'm telling you, for the cost of this event, you cannot beat the cost.
Right.
Actually, it's below cost. I'm gonna say it like that, but I'm paying, but I'm not trying to say, but my whole point is this.
Yes, sir.
For the value for what you receive, it's priceless. I just want to throw that in there because I'm with you, Brother Abdul, and I can't see why you would not. And the worst is yet to come.
That's right.
Being that I'm now with a master farmer. I talk to a lot of farmers, and we've been traveling throughout the U.S. now. And in my travels throughout the U.S., we're going to be facing a lot of difficulty.
Yes, sir.
Right now, just check the weather, look at the fires,
yes,
look at the droughts.
Yes.
If you think that that you are not or will not be affected by it, at some point, all of us are going to be affected by what's taking place. But we need to come to the national training and get this training and pray to Allah that if something happens like it happened in your city, brother, or in that part of the region, that we will have enough here to be able to survive.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know that a little bit.
That's excellent, because that's what it's all about. It's about training. It's about getting as much of this information now so that it can help us in a time that's coming very soon. And since you mentioned that, and get your take on it too, Brother Abdul Qiyam, the minister has already presented us with, the knowledge of this time and what must be done. He's already shared with us, that famine is coming. He's taught us and told us to get our homes together, and, all that has been mentioned already. But, some of us are not, we don't necessarily believe. It's like fighting, many don't train in developing their own physical skills to take care of themselves because, it's kind of far out sometimes in your mind that it's not happening now. It may be happening to somebody else over there, somebody over there, but it's not happening to me right now. So we don't prepare ourselves for what is being presented. We've been given only one pestilence from heaven. It's just one. Well, how many of the pestilence did Moses, was he involved with during the time of the children of Israel? Well, we got to know that the minister has already taught us and told us that they've made or presented history as prophecy and prophecy as history, and that much of what is expected, or I should say that they say happened, should be expected. So we got to know that all of this is getting ready to hit us. We've been taught that blood is going to be up to the horse's bridle. None of this has happened yet. But is it? What do you think about that? So when we talk about famine, do you see famine coming? And if so, just kind of give me what your thoughts are on that. Brother Abdul Qiyam first, please.
Oh, without a doubt, sir. One of the things that I shared with some of the believers when we had that freeze out here, my mindset was that was just a dry test run. But even the major supermarkets, they were empty. In all of the dairy sections, you couldn't get eggs and milk for a long time. They was not prepared at all. Trucks were halted, and people who did not have food, did not have water, but it was just a test run. It just happened for a couple of weeks. And so I'm always sharing with my family members. I understand we got to secure the financial bag and you get money. I say the minute you get some money, go buy some beans. Yes. Store up Navy beans, get your water. Don't get caught slipping like that, because again, it was just like with Noah. He's building that ship on dry land. He's like, it ain't gonna rain. Then all of a sudden it started flooding. Well, we are seeing that everything that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad warned of us about the fall of America and his star student and representative, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, is all coming to pass. And I think, Brother Abdul Aziz, is what we're doing is we're not paying attention to the things that are happening abroad. And the messenger said that soon it will be at our doors.
That's right.
Some of us don't think that ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal won't affect your toilet paper in the hood, but it will, because they just put out an article yesterday in the Business Insider that ship that was stuck a few months ago is now about to affect the shortage of coffee, feminine products, toilet paper, and all these various things that are coming. So we have to be very wise and not be lulled to sleep. And that again is why the National Training Seminar is so different from the others, because why? We don't present without marrying it with scripture. Yes. So when you come to our seminars, you're going to hear God's word as well. You learning how to get your backpack together and prepare your vehicle, right? And how to grow form. But you're also going to know what God has said in his word. You're not going to get that in any other seminar. So it's very important that we pay attention to what is going on, because the worst is yet to come, as our brother said. And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said lastly, as I quote, the minister said, the messenger pointed to his lips and said, these are not made to speak idle words.
That's right.
But made to speak the will of God. So if he has warned us that things are coming to pass, you can take it to the bank. It is about to happen, but we cannot wait. We got to do something now. We'll suffer the consequences.
Man, yes, sir. Thank you. And Brother Charles, you mentioned that you've been with master farmers and what's going on. What is actually happening out there that you can share with the audience? Because see, this is about the national training, but just as Brother Abdul Kiam said, that the national training is about us getting the information and making sure that our people know what is about to happen and that everything is married with the truth. So in terms of what's going out there in the world today and our need to be focused on some of this farming, because can you farm, like Brother Keon said, I mean, you got people in the projects, you know what I'm saying? We got homes like this. I mean, can we farm in that kind of way? Can we do that?
Oh, yes, sir. I want to kind of back up a little bit to what Brother Abdul said. He actually, in his presentation, when he was talking about as a man speaketh, which is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, immediately I went to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19. So just for sake of time, read it. And you'll know if what the minister is saying is the truth. It also asks the question, how will you know? And this national training has put me and my family and many who have attended the national training 10 to 15 years ahead of when you say, are we facing or will we be faced with famine? Well, prior to the Nation of Islam, me coming into the Nation of Islam, I was a marketing development manager. And what we would do, we would forecast out and do feasibility studies in cities throughout America. That's how I ended up in New York and ended up in LA and moved around the country. But the approach that we took to our marketing, we would subtly use subtleties to introduce certain products and certain things into the market. Well, what they're doing right now, they're using subtleties to hide the fact that we are in famine. Because if you take, for example, water, I remember we never would drink from bottled water. The shelf space, when we first started back in the early mid 80s and late 80s, you didn't see water on the shelf. Now there's aisles allocated to water. You can go into major grocery stores and see 3 to 4 aisles of water and different types of water. Right now, the farmers are afraid that we're going to have, and they know to be a fact that there is a shortage of water. Well, you need water to grow, man. You need water to grow plants. This master farmer that I'm with, Mr. Will Allen, he has taught me I can grow now on asphalt. I can grow on rooftops. I can grow in pots. I can grow on your living room floor. I can grow on your desk. He has taught me these things because he has also taught me how to grow soil. So if you go to, and it's all about the soil. If you go to point number 4 in our final call newspaper, it says that we need what? Soil, or we need soil that is fertile or minerally rich. Well, right now, the farmers are afraid because they have destroyed and extracted all of the nutrients out of the soil. So it's very difficult for them to grow. And with the shortage of the lack of rain, the nutrients in the soil that has been depleted, you're going to see the prices just track your whatever products you buy. Track the cost of what maybe eggs cost last year versus this year. Track the cost. I remember my parents used to say, boy, milk is extremely high. I don't want to date myself, but I remember when a carton of milk was less than 50 cents.
Yes, sir.
You remember a loaf of bread, you can get a loaf of bread for 35, 40 cents. Now you're paying $3, $4, $5. So if you think that we're not in famine, don't fool yourself. But see, in the national training, all of this was being pointed out in the national training. All of the areas that we're talking about. Now, I'm from what some people call the hood. I didn't know it was that until I, grew up and realized, well, I'm from the hood, really? Well, in saying that, we had this thing, but how can you fall out of the bed if you've been sleeping on the floor all your life? So the national training has shown me how to aid the people in the community in which I live in. It has shown me, this master farmer has shown me how to feed people. Last year, I fed over 80 families last year. I've given so much produce to these families that they start telling me I can't take it anymore. I have no place to put it. But look at the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He has given us all of the tools that we need to survive in the time that we're in. So yeah, brother, yes, sir, we're in famine right now. We are, you can grow, there's certain items you can grow in your apartments in 7 to 21 days that will keep you, that will sustain you, that you can feed off of, that will keep you alive. Keep in mind, as the prices go up, the theft is going to go up. Right now, they're robbing people coming out of the grocery stores, taking their products. So if you don't have the skill, physically, now we're talking physical, to keep them off of your products, then that's food that's just lost. You're not in the mindset on how to secure your home. And secure your home even if you leave and go to another location. Well, the national training teaches all of that. The national training teaches us how to secure our families. So food is important. The security of our food is important. The security of our families is important. All of this is coming up out of the national training. Joseph in the Bible, the king had they were in famine. They were facing famine. So the king said, is there anyone that we know of, as he talked to, all those around him that could save us? They say, yeah, king, well, you have one. He's locked up. He's in jail. Go get him. And Joseph, to make this short, I'm paraphrasing now, he came up out and spoke with the king, and look what happened. He saved the entire kingdom. So that's kind of like where we're at. We have the opportunity to save our people, brother. And so if there's, for those who are listening, if there's anything that I can do or to aid and assist, that's why I'm here. I'm here to serve. I don't know anything else to do but to serve. I've been serving for 30 plus years. And like I said, I don't plan to tap out. I plan to hold on as the pain is being afflicted.
Yes,
like
indeed.
the doc put it on you. I don't know why I remember that so vividly, man. Because I had never seen you like that before. I mean, your eyes was like.
Yes,
but anyway, my whole point.
I remember it vividly too.
But my whole point is, yes, there are things we can do. Whether you live in an apartment, whether you live in, whether you have the acreage to do it, just keep in mind maximizing the space or the environment in which you're in. Right now, I'm working in a very rural area. When I say rural, oh man, I came out one morning about 4:45 in the morning, and a white wolf ran in front of me. So I'm working in an area like that right now. Working on a major project with Mr. Allen, trying to develop some things. So, but we have to deal with all of the elements, because we're up in the UP and we're in bear country. I don't know if you know
Mm.
anything about that, Brother Abdul. There's no media up there. There's no social media up there. But
Mm.
but there's quite a bit that we can do. Understand the national training. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, know the terrain. Well, it's more to that than just him telling us to know the terrain. Because in the time that we're in, we're going to have to learn how to maneuver. And so in the national training, all of the motorcade training and how to move is real important. The dignitary protection training that we receive, that's going to be key in protecting our council and protecting those, protecting the council, so that we may have to take the council and move the council to various locations for safety. All of that is real important, and we are very close to that. Now, the farmers, to answer that question, the age of the farmers, the average age of the farmers is between the ages of 65 and 80.
Mm.
So the big boys, as we say, is trying to, they're so greedy, they're taking over the industry, and they're mass producing products and putting so many chemicals in a product that is not in the products. Or for example, corn. If you see a cornfield and you don't see any weeds in the cornfield, it's chemically induced. Straight up, straight chemicals. If you see a field of beans and there's no weeds, there's chemicals. Well, all of that is affecting the human body. So, you know, we want to talk what is considered organic, but hey, you know, it's easy to put a label on a package.
And you know, and you know that's a very good point. And I'll just mention something that I realized myself. You know, organic is supposedly the lack of pesticides and so forth, and the way to grow something. But if a product has already been genetically modified, a part of the genetic modification is to ward off those kinds of things that they use pesticides for.
Right.
So you can have a genetically modified watermelon or something that is genetically modified, but they'll say it's organic. So organic doesn't mean anything unless it's non-GMO. In my
That's correct.
So I mean, and that was a aha moment while I was standing in the growth in a Whole Foods, and I'm like, wait a minute, this watermelon doesn't have seeds. How is it? Oh, organic. Organic only means how it was raised. We didn't use pesticides. Why? Because we didn't need to, because we genetically modified this product to not need any pesticides. So they're not helping you in that. So, but that's great. Well, let me, as we're closing at this time, I want to give you both of you an opportunity to share some of what you're doing, you know, in particular. And if there's a website, if there's, you know, something, I know, Brother Abdul Qiyam, you have a platform. Now, you mentioned that the enemy, and you know, enemy is a great term, you know, because that's someone that is against you, that goes against you, that is battling you. He's an enemy to you. So this enemy stopped you. They knocked your what kind of share that part, and then let us know what you're doing right now and what we need to do to help you, which is really going to help us in terms of that knowledge, please.
Yes, sir. You know, Jesus said in the scripture, they hated you because they hated me first.
Yeah.
So any of us that dare to spread, or as we call truth traffic, this truth from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on their platforms, we have to expect to be a target. And we all know we just came across the 1-year anniversary of the Criterion. And we know that the minister, he delivered a message that absolutely frightened Satan.
That's
to
right.
the point that Satan is fighting for his life, trying to counterpunch
That's
in
right.
a fight that he can't win.
Come on.
So back in November, myself and many others on the same day at the same time, Brother Abdul Aziz, got notifications from YouTube that they was taking down the Criterion and banning some of us for 7 days, 30 days because of this one message. They was taking the Criterion down just ahead of them rolling out their so-called vaccine. And from that time period, YouTube just kept blocking me. They started taking down 30 videos off my channel at a time. And I just kept getting blocked. And so right after Savior's Day, when I put up, of course, the whole plenary session on COVID-19, I put that up on my channel. And of course, all of the wonderful messages by Brother Student Minister Ishmael Muhammad and the minister and all of the workshops on my channel, I was spreading them. And on March the 8th, they decided to terminate me completely from YouTube, to the point now, I cannot even use the YouTube app on my phone. And Brother Abdul Aziz, I had a paying account on YouTube Music. I was actually utilizing it. They banned me and they said they didn't even want my money. So I can't even use YouTube Music on my phone through my email account. But I rejoice. That's what the scriptures say. When they hate you for his name's sake, we should be exceedingly glad. So when the minister called me about it, I was excited. I was honored, and I was actually surprised it took them that long. So what do? When they give us a punch, we got a counterpunch. We don't get dismayed or wallow down. And so I got with a Muslim developer, a sister who is skilled in web development, and we started working on creating my own platform where we're not censored, we're not interfered, and people can freely feed on the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and we control it. So I decided to launch the platform on May 11th on the minister's birthday anniversary, and it's qvideo.com. That's QBIDIO.com. So it's AQM, which is my initials, AQM Video. And that platform has the same functionalities that we developed, the same that you'll find on YouTube. So just this past Sunday, we hosted our first live stream and live chat of the Criterion on our own platform, because I'm just tired of them. You know, I believe that we have to continue to utilize those platforms until they take us all down. At the same time, we know we have to strengthen our own and separate from them. So this is just a peek into what we can do, and the minister is very happy about it. And so the believers and the people who were supporting me on YouTube, they're just migrating to our own platform, and Allah willing, we got more in store to come, dear brother. But I would not have that mindset were it not for the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who rearranged the whole atom of our thinking. I wouldn't have never thought to be happy about them coming against me or taking a punch, you know? The enemy can't tap out Muhammad. So when we following the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we know how to counterpunch because we know how to take a punch, you know, from them. Because why? Nobody has been more banned, shadow banned, and hated and attacked than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. There is none of us as students can think that we have been attacked more than him. No way at all. In fact, just 2 days ago, right now, they're calling for my Twitter account to be banned because I posted our anti-vaccination flyer from the final call. And now they upset about that. So they can be mad all they want. We're going to continue to push. But I invite anyone that would like to subscribe. It's free. You can open up an account, and soon, Allah willing, in a couple months, people will be able to upload their own content. But right now, you can go and enjoy the messages of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, free of interference. Get all of that good word, and you got to worry about censorship because we control it. And we're learning more and more as our brother who is learning under that master farmer. We've been learning to observe the operations of the enemy and learning how they have set up these various platforms, Brother Abdul Aziz. And while we have to pay and invest more money, we have found that the same functionalities they have, we have access to them if we will only look.
Come on, man.
Praise to Allah. Oh, yes, sir. So we're going to keep on pushing. That's qvideo.com, It's the world of ideas in motion.
Man, come on now. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Well, I gotta sign up today.
Yes,
So I can subscribe and all of that.
absolutely. Yes, sir. You can interact with the content. We got various channels on there, the same way they got on their platform. So you got channels that deal with how they live and all these other various pieces. And real soon we started posting some of all of our variants. We were talking earlier. We have so many beautiful shows in the nation. So we've already started posting some of Brother Willie's interviews. Brother Joshua's coming. You're gonna see your videos up real soon and closing the gap, because we have to show this enemy and know you just can't stop when you're following a master teacher like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We know how to maneuver in a way. And also, I want to continue to show the people that the nation has so much to offer. And there's so many young believers that are doing such great works online and utilizing this modern technology. So I'm like Brother Charles. All the platforms I ever had is just to serve my minister and my nation. And this platform is no different. It's just here to serve our people and raise up the teacher.
Beautiful, beautiful, man. I'm so happy. And I was happy to hear that you mentioned that you'll be able to show some of ours, because I wanted to know how can, if someone wanted to actually bring their stream or whatever to you so that we can be on yours, they can just go to the same thing that you just mentioned, or
yes,
is
sir.
Also?
Right. So right now, as we're testing out the disk space and everything, because we invested in an online server to run it and manage the space. So soon we'll be testing it out where users will be able to upload their own content. But right now we're putting it up, and so you can interact, save your channels, do watch laters, leave your content so you can interact. And also we'll be doing another live stream, Allah willing, with another program. And as you'll go back and see the one we did this past Sunday, we had a wonderful dialogue on the criterion where people were discussing salient points and everything. So it's an open, uncensored marketing. So Allah willing, everybody be able to upload their own content. But right now we're doing it. So you'll be seeing Walking with a Master podcast videos will be up there in a few days, dear brother. It's in the works, man. We got to promote our own, brother.
Come on. Praise be to Allah. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Brother Charles, is there anything that you'd like to say in closing also?
Yes, sir. I just want to say, Brother Abdul, you have a perfect platform, brother, to educate our people.
Yes, sir.
I'm not as tech savvy as you may be and others, but the information that I want to direct you to, I want to direct you to this master farmer, because he's the master. I'm just a student. But he has taken me on as a student so that I can become a master farmer, because he said he's going to give me everything that Allah has given him. Now, this is how he's talking to me now. He also asked me the other day, are there, we as we plan, we have our planning dates, and there were some key dates that I mentioned to him that I will not be able to be with you, Mr. Allen, on those days. He said, well, what's going on? I said, the national training. Now, he told me, and Grandmaster Aziz, I'm giving you this now. He said, how can I be a part of it? That I would be willing to be a part of the national training, because what we're currently doing, we're going around the country right now promoting 90 days of food. And where do you think he got that from?
Come on now.
Come on.
He's a master farmer, and he's promoting now 90 days of food. He has a book out called The Good Food Revolution. You can just Google it or go on YouTube and it'll all come up. Or any of the information that I said to you today, the website is just Google Will Allen. And everything will come up. And everything that you see him doing, he's teaching me. And so through our network, for those who need to reach me, you can contact me through the National Training Corps, and you can reach me that way.
Yes, sir.
And I'm more than willing to give of myself and time that I can spare to whomever. So that's the network of information that I say, if the master's allowing you to come into his viewership directly, then go with the master. Again, I'm just a student, like I'm a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, like I'm a student of Grandmaster Aziz Muhammad. I'm just a student. However, if I can share, I will. So 90 days of food is important. The other thing I want to say to everybody is that look deep into what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is giving us. Don't think for a minute that you know it all. I'm telling you, when you think you know it all, you have just lost.
That's right.
So I am thankful to you, Grandmaster, for allowing me and giving me this opportunity. Again, you know, it's not something that I do like this. I wish I could share more with you. We're working on a major project. I'm under some, non-disclosures. Apologize for that in advance, but when all said and done, when we reveal it, you're gonna know that Master Farad Muhammad is God.
Come on.
You're gonna know that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is who he say he is, the Messiah. You're gonna know that to be a fact because it is his guidance. Now, you ever see when two masters come together, how they guide one another? Well, this Master Farmer is looking at the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as his teacher.
Yes.
Even though he has helped set up the farms and so forth that we have in our nation, but he looks at the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as his teacher. Matter of fact, he tried to observe Ramadan this year. He tried. I mean,
beautiful.
But I'm just telling you the effect that the Messiah is having on the great masters. So just Google Will Allen, or you can go to his website, farmerwillallen.com, and all the information come up. I'm telling you, just Google Will Allen, and everything will come up, YouTube and all the other social media sites and channels. And so again, thank you. Thank you, Brother Abdul. Thank you, Brother Grandmaster. I got something that's dear to my heart. I just want to flash you real quick. If you can remember this. Can you see that?
No, it's not showing.
It's not showing.
The green, yeah.
It's my national training plaque that I received in 2012.
Yes, there's no question.
Hold it dear to my heart. I never looked at myself as a pioneer, but I got the National Training Unit Pioneer Award. Man,
That's right. That's right.
I'm still trying to figure out what that means. But nevertheless, the national training is the key to our success. Yes. It's a message to the Black man. The 5 points in Message to the Black Man where it says, pool your resources.
Yes.
With like-minded individuals.
That's right.
At the national training, everyone's not a Nation of Islam member, but these are like-minded individuals.
Yes, sir.
And when we're talking pooling our resources, we're not just talking money. We're talking what we know. So let's pool our resources. Get with like-minded individuals. Let's not accept failure as an excuse. And let's continue to move forward with Allah and the Messiah guiding us. With that being said, man, I'd like to leave you. Thank you again for saying assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, man. Thank you both, the both of you, for being present. I'm telling you, I'm very humbled to have you on. I really appreciate you. I revere you. I look up to you, in fact, because you Oh man, you don't even know. You don't even know. I'm just thankful to Allah that Allah has blessed me to have family like you all here with me, and you graced this screen and this audience today with your love of Him, and that's all it is. It's our love of that man that keeps us moving in this way. I would never be doing this, but I'm just trying to be a good student and challenge myself and move in this line. So again, I thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you again. This is not the last time for sure.
Yes,
I'm looking forward to having you again, and we'll be talking. All right.
Thank you to Allah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam. Us.
is willing to take up the fight for us. But if it is forced on us, we too have to fight. Every student of a master here today, you reflect your master teacher. You want to walk like him. You want to talk like her. But you start by having an object in front of you that you